Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitaBugHandmaids.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today I thought I would share with you some alternate project ideas featuring the August 2018 paper pumpkin kit, Blissful Blooms. And don't forget, if you'd like to get in on our September kit, which is going to be Halloween themed, make sure that you subscribe by September the 10th. I've got my subscription link just below the video in the description notes. I would love for you to subscribe with me. So I did do an unboxing of this kit during the month of August, and I'll link to that unboxing just below the video if you want to check out that as well. So I'm just going to go ahead. I had an idea already for one of the projects. I wanted to create a box out of one of the card bases. So I did kind of practice how to create a box or to come up with some measurements for this project. So that's why I love saving my retired cardstock by Stampin' Up. So it took me several tries to come up with measurements that actually made a box that opened normally. Well, that you could just open at all. I was coming up with some funky stuff, but I had fun playing around with the measurements. So I'm just gonna put the card base in my paper trimmer, and I'm cutting 1/2 inch off of the card base. So I cut it down to 8 inches, and I took that 1/2 inch off of the floral side of the card base. So that is important. You wanna chop it off of the flowered side. And now I'm just lining this card base up in my Simply Scored board, and I am just going to score with the long side across the top. I am scoring at 1/2 inch. And I'll have all of these measurements over on today's blog post, but I'm scoring at 1/2 inch, then 1 1/4 inches. And then the card base is already scored at 4 1/4 inches for you, and then I'm going to score at 5 inches. So 1/2 inch, 1 1/4 inches, 4 1/4 inches, and 5 inches. Now I'm putting the short side of the card base across the top, and I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch. And then at 4 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so those are the measurements for our little box. I'm so excited about this project. I've wanted to make a box out of a card base for so long. I just couldn't figure out the measurements, so I took some time to do it this time. So now I'm just going to take my bone folder and give all of those score marks a nice little crease. And then with my paper snips, I'm just going to snip up all of the little squares. So I'm snipping up the sides, and then I'm going to notch out of the square. I'm not notching out of the rectangles. I'm just notching out of the little squares. So I'm going to do this all the way around, except for that little skinny piece on the end. I'm not going to notch into that. You'll see what we do with that in a minute. So just rotating it around, doing the same thing on the other side. Notching out of the squares. This is a super easy box to make. Had something, little piece left there. Okay, so now this is what you have once you've done all of your notching. So, sorry. That's my dog. So now I'm just going to come in, and on that top flap, I'm just going to angle and snip that off. Okay, and that's going to be our flap that closes the box. All right, so now this is what we have, and I'm just going to choose my adhesive. You could assemble this box with tear and tape. You could use your multi-purpose liquid glue. I'm going to use Fast Fuse. So you want to fold in those little tiny tabs, and then you want to fold those front tabs to the back. So those are going to fold to the back. So I'm just going to add my Fast Fuse adhesive to the inside of those front tabs, tuck in those middle ones, and then I'm just going to fold these back, making sure that I line them up very carefully. If you don't get them lined up just right, then the box will kind of sit funky. So just lining that up just right. I don't know what my dog is doing. Sorry, he's running all around. Okay, so there we go. That is ready, and it even stands up. And then you can just tuck that flap right inside. It closes perfectly. Love this little box. Isn't that cute? I love it. Sorry, I'm just playing around with opening and closing it. Okay, so now I'm just taking my ruler and I want to find the center of the box. So I'm just marking at 2 inches. And I'm going to bring in my 1/2 inch circle punch, and I'm just going to make a little thumb notch there. It'll just make the box a little bit easier to open. And there we go. Okay. So now I want to add some decoration to the front of this box. So I've just got a scrap piece of Whisper White. So I was really trying to stick with only using supplies in the kit, but I did need a little bit of Whisper White, so I had to bring that in. So now I'm just picking up my stamps. I'm using these little flower images, and then also I thought I was going to use this little circle one, but I didn't, but then I also grabbed that little heart piece. So I'm just going back into my kit for a couple of pieces here. Oh, I know what I was doing. Now I remember. I was trying to find out what yellow that is. That's right. But it doesn't tell you what yellow that is on the pre-printed card bases. So I matched it up to Daffodil Delight. So I'm stamping 3 of these little flowers in Daffodil Delight. And then I'm going to stamp the little heart as my centerpiece to the flowers. And I'm going to stamp that in Blackberry Bliss, which is actually the color, the ink spot that comes with the kit. But I'm just using my full-size ink pad here. So I'm just going to stamp those in the center. I like this little heart image, and I didn't even realize that was a heart until after I made all the projects in the kit. And now I'm just going to take my paper snips and I'm going to hand cut out each one of these little flowers. And I am not going to make you sit through that entire process. I am going to show you how I get started with that. But I'm just rotating my paper around, and my scissors just naturally glide to how I move the paper. And then I'm just going to cut all of those out. So I've got them all cut out. Now I'm going to bring in some of those little vellum leaves that came in the kit. I'm going to lay those out onto the front of one of the silver lined tags that came in the kit, or labels I should say. So I'm just choosing which ones I want. Alright, so I'm going to add some fast fuse and just stick those right in there in that adhesive. And I think I chose 4 of them. Yeah, I did. And then I'm going to take some of that Flirty Flamingo Baker's Twine that came in the kit. It's Flirty Flamingo, and then it's got some silver thread wound into it as well. So I'm just stringing that on there, making some loops, and then I'm going to adhere all of these little flowers right over top of that Baker's Twine, and I'm going to use dimensionals to do that. Just pop these flowers up. So I'm just making like a little decorative element on this box. There's no sentiment on the box. We're going to do the sentiment on the card that will go along with the box. Okay, so I've got my flowers all stuck down, and then I'm going to adhere this label to the front of my box using dimensionals as well. And I'm just putting it off to the left in the center. Isn't that cute? Just a nice little added something to our box. Super cute. And this box is actually such a great size. So I looked around on my desk to see if I could find things that would fit in this box, just to give you an idea of what a great size it is. So these were some things I found. So you can actually fit one of our snail adhesives right inside with plenty of space. Isn't that so cool? You can fit a Memento ink pad in there. It fits perfectly, actually. Isn't that great? You can fit one of our D blocks. And then you can tuck a G block in the leftover space. So you can fit 2 of our stamp blocks in there. You can also fit a package of gum. This is a smaller package, but I'm pretty sure you could fit a larger package as well. You could put candies in there. You could put a gift card with some candies. It really holds quite a bit. It's a really great gift card. You could put some tea pouches in there. Just a lot of different things could fit in there. Coffee, a lot of stuff. So there's project number 1, so cute. All right, so for project number 2, I wanted to make a card to go along with the gift box, but I wanted to change up the card. I didn't want it to look exactly like the way the cards came in the kit, so I took one of the other pre-printed card bases, and I'm actually going to cut off this floral printed side, and I'm just cutting it a little bit less than 4 1/4 inches, just so that that score mark doesn't show up. So I'm just putting it back in, and I'm going to take off just a little bit more. There we go. So we've got the floral piece, and now I'm going to cut down this white piece that's left. So I'm going to end up cutting this down to 3 1/2 inches by 4 3/4 inches. I wanted a good amount of the pre-printed flowers to show from behind that white layer. So at this size, it just wasn't enough. So I cut it down to 3 1/2 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And that was perfect. That's exactly how I wanted it. So now I'm going to take this little label right here, and I'm going to stamp the thinking of you sentiment in Blackberry Bliss. And actually, I ended up not liking how that was stamped the first time, so I got another label out, cleaned off my stamp. I didn't really prep the stamp before stamping with it, so cleaned off my stamp, and I'm going to stamp that one more time to get a better impression. All right, so I've got my thinking of you on there. And then on this other little silver lined label, I'm going to stamp the heart, and I'm going to stamp that in Flirty Flamingo. So Flirty Flamingo doesn't come in the kit, but I wanted to bring some of that in, some of that ink color in. So I did pull that in. All right, so now I'm going to add some more of these little vellum leaves. I'm going to put these behind the sentiment. So I'm just adding some fast fuse, and I'm just going to stick those down. And I'm just using 3 of them. I'm just going to stick them down right behind this little label. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm going to change this leaf. I didn't like that one. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere my white layer to the front of my pre-printed card. So this is more of like a note card. It's not a full card. It's just like a little note card. I really like it. All right, so now I am going to add I'm sorry, I'm just deciding where I think I want this in the future. So now I'm just going to add the rest of my baker's twine behind that sentiment. So I'm just making my little loops. I'm going to stick it down in the rest of that fast fuse that's left, and then I will add some dimensionals to hold everything in place. This baker's twine did not want to cooperate, but I got it. So I've added some dimensionals, and then I'm just going to adhere this down to the top right hand side of my little note card. And that's so cute. I love this. I love this, so cute. So then I brought in some Blackberry Bliss cardstock. That's not included in the kit. I'm just adding that in, and I'm using I think that's called the tabs punch. I don't know, I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember. So I punched that out of the Blackberry Bliss. Then I brought in my 3/4 inch circle punch and punched out that heart that we stamped in Flirty Flamingo. And I'm just going to add that little heart on to my tab die cut. And then I'm going to add my tab die cut to the top of my little note card. Isn't that so cute? I just love this. I love it. Okay, so we'll just add that on, line it up. And there we go. That is so cute. I love this card. So next I decided to take one of those pretty silver foil lined envelopes, which you can actually get these envelopes in the holiday catalog along with some matching silver lined card bases, but I cut half an inch off of the top of the envelope, added some fast fuse to the flap, and now it's a little pocket. Isn't that cute? It is a little pocket for my card. I love it. Isn't that so cute? So this would be such a great little card and gift box to give to someone in person. You could also put this in a bubble mailer and mail this to someone as a little gift with the card and the little box. I like to do things like that, but I love this project, you guys. I hope that you love these alternates. I had so much fun creating these, and I hope it gives you some more inspiration for your kit. So don't forget to subscribe by September the 10th if you want to get in on that Halloween themed paper pumpkin kit for this month. So thanks again. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be back soon with another tutorial. Bye now.